So today we're going to talk about LumenRadio and wireless DMX. I guess this will take the presentation 30-45 minutes depending on questions. Hopefully I can answer them. If I cannot, I will get back to you. And you will be pretty early to see our new product, the Moonlight. We started out in 2008. Our founder Niklas Norlén came from Ericsson. You probably heard about wireless solutions. Niklas from our company and Niklas from their company started wireless solutions together. And as often happens in companionships, they didn't get along that well, so they split, and today we're two different companies. As said, we started off in 2008, had some Plaza awards. We have our the CRMX chip, and where people, the OEMs, are actually using our chip to put into their fixtures as KinoFlow or ARRI, for example, in this case. We also do some industrial parts, HVAC. Swegon is one big HVAC. I don't know but they take care of the ventilation in the building, for example. So we do their stuff also. Yeah, and today we're at 2019. Yeah, it says so, and we're releasing Mira OS for lighting. That is our operative system. Timo 2, which is our radio module with chip that's inside of this, and this is the Moonlight. We'll come back to that later. Some bragging who we work with today. Cineo, KinoFlow, as you can see, Roby and ARRI. And this is convenient. We have some AKS here from Ratpack and Skynode. And the LumenDim, we were talking about our guy in the US. We were talking about him yesterday. So he used to work with the LumenDim. Yeah, and some more bragging. Just to see some of the brands that work with us today. There's probably a bunch of them missing, but we're adding every day. What is wireless DMX? Yep, sounds easy. Well, it could be, but there's a bunch of things to take in consideration. And that might be to be reliable as with a cable. You want the same performance with the latency, of course. The benefit could be simplicity, not running a cable if you're up in a truss, so it should be easy. But also the most important thing for us today, and especially in the time to come, is to coexist. And what do we mean by coexist? We'll come to that later also. Yeah, the evolution of wireless DMX, it started off in mid-1990s. It had short range and had really dirty, so it was RF pollution. Yellow. Very short range. In the early 2000s, we got longer range. We got the frequency hop sped spectrum. Just had 3 cups of coffee this morning. I need more, I guess. It also had the Wi-Fi DMX, wireless DMX through Wi-Fi. In 2009, Niklas came out with a CRMX. This is even more hard to say. Cognitive Radio Multiplexer. That's what we call our wireless DMX. So it's the CRMX is still the only wireless DMX system with an intelligent and cognitive radio, and that is to avoid interference and congestion. So wireless DMX is the same as you do with running a cable. Nothing strange with that. The DMX just goes in one direction, and with the RDM, as we have in a couple of our units, you get it's an add-on protocol, so you get feedback from the fixtures. So DMX, one direction, and the RDM gives you feedback. Yeah, how does RDM work? I'm not sure. Are you familiar with RDM? Have you worked with it? Yes and no. Yeah. Yeah, so every RDM device has its unique ID. This is the RDM messages are interleaved between the DMX frames. I mean, that's just technical stuff. Yeah, this is more. Most important thing, I think, is this, that you can set DMX address, modes, and adjust other settings without going out to the fixture. Name them, give them labels. You can get lamp hours, lamp strikes, and so on. And of course, monitor signal strength, temperature, and so on. So RDM today is really commonly used with all our products, I must say. So if you haven't worked with it, people that work with it is really happy with it. Came in a strange order, but okay. I will just go through this, and you come back with questions. Okay, so LumenRadio works on the 2.4 gigahertz license-free band. It's worldwide license-free, which means everybody wants to be there. So we're not alone. We have Wi-Fi, we have Bluetooth. Also, a microwave oven can interfere on the 2.4. So it's a pretty tough environment to work on. I'll show you later on with the Supernova software that we have to see how much is going on in the 2.4 band in real life. Yeah, and of course 2.4 is heavily congested today. So here we can see the Wi-Fi, for example, staples up here. So if we I was talking about the frequency hop spread spectrum. Today Bluetooth work with that, and there's also wireless solutions use it. The frequency, it constantly hops within the 2.4 between the channels. Just jumping. Nothing, they're not thinking to see where to send the signal, just moving all over. So if you put the frequency hop spread spectrum onto the 2.4, it will just put a lid on the whole spectrum. They will get the signal through, but most other networks will probably fail or get really bad linkage. Yeah, so we say intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Or no, we're not saying that. Stephen Hawking said. He's a clever guy. So this is just a screenshot of the 2.4 gigahertz. It's more fun to see it real life later on. But this shows where we send the signal. That's the green parts. The red parts showing up is really congested or disturbances. So we try to stay away from that. And how do we do that? Yeah, that's one of our patents. So 1500 to 2000 times per second, we scan the whole frequency to see where will it be an opening to send the signal. Instead of just shouting out, because we would then just destroy for everyone else. And of course, there's some couple of other, I don't know if you heard about City Theatrical, for example, or of course, Wireless Solution. They're talking about different bandwidths. We have 900, we have 5 gigahertz. In the 900 you have a really long range, but you can't send that much data as on 2.4. On the other hand, you have 5 gigahertz, which you can send a lot of data, but the range is not that good. And I'm not sure how much you work with wireless cameras. Is there a lot of wireless cameras going on your sets? So there's Teradex, yeah. What's happening in the States right now is that there's been a problem. I should be really honest with you, because when the Teradex on 2.4, they just break everything up. I guess not even the director's assistant will have the Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So what they're doing in the US now, or on the new Teradex, they're moving, what I've been told, to 5 gigahertz. They're moving away from 2.4 gigahertz. And we're grateful for that, because when that happened, not even our stuff worked. I should be really honest about it. So you can try it to see or ask on a set what frequency they're using. So 2.4 is the optimal frequency to use for wireless DMX. And actually, we've done some tests in the general lighting industry to see, and we had better range on our 2.4 radio modules than competitors had on their 900 radio modules. With one really, really large, huge lighting manufacturer from Austria. They were impressed, but they're in general lighting in Dornbirn. Yep, so to show you some of our reliability, we've been doing Coachella for a couple of years. They use our gear to control the lights on the stage. So the transmitter is in front of house, and of course the receiver is up in the trussing. I mean, maybe you don't want to have a receiver on every light, so you just have one receiver, for example, and then daisy chain. It's not a problem, for example. And of course today it's you want to get the signal through. You just want to the competition. They scream out the signal. And as I said before, you will ruin other networks in that area. So what we do, we prefer to listen more. And that could be, instead of having we have different antennas. So in this case, we have a 2 dBi antenna, but we also have high gain antennas for indoor use, 5 dBis, and the outdoor is up to 12 dBis. So what we recommend is that you put the high gain antenna on the receiving side, and not the transmitting side. And there's a couple of reasons to that. One is, or the most important thing for the government anyway, is that you might go over regulations, but you will also leave more RF pollution and interrupt other networks. So try to always use a high gain antenna on the receiving side. Really important. We have a fixed 5 millisecond latency, so when you push that button, it should happen. So we have this deterministic latency, and most DMX systems does not have that. Yeah, synchronization, the same DMX at the same time across multiple receivers, so there will be everything happens at the same time also. DMX frame integrity, so only complete DMX frames, no flickering. So if there's a faulty frame, I think we can send down to, if we have down to 33-34%, it will work. And if we can't send a full frame, we take the last one. So you will not get any, people won't notice, except you behind the desk maybe. Yeah, it's encrypted, no hacking, no copies. And of course it's future-proof. So today we're coming with a new TIMO 2 module and the new Moonlight. It's compatible with the old stuff, so we'll always have that. Yeah, and a multi-protocol Ethernet, ArtNet, streaming ACN, and so on. Works fine. And also the one-button setup. We can try that everybody later on. It's just a click of a button and then you link. Super simple, takes 10 seconds. Antenna. The signal comes out from the omnidirectional antenna as an apple. So the top of the antenna, nothing is coming out from there and nothing from the bottom. So it goes like so, 360 degrees. So have that in mind. So if you point the antennas like this, you have to be close, really close. Like this is fine, like so, or like so. Think of it as an apple. This is actually the most problems we see. We get calls and say, "Oh, we have no linkage." Okay, have you checked the antenna alignment? No. Okay, please do, and usually it works. It's easy to forget. So please have that in mind. We're talking a little bit about the range. It's up to 1,000 meters. Best case, sun is shining, happy wife in my case, a beer in my hand probably. No, with high gains. But for a standard antenna, I would say 500-600 meters. Yeah. Things to have in consideration is, of course, people is no good to have between the transmitter and the receiver, because there's a lot of water in us. And water is not a good thing for the radio signal. So if you have a crowd, place the receivers and the transmitters and receivers high above people. Also, of course, concrete, brick, steel, it's no good to have between the transmitter and the receiver. Sometimes, as we saw on this project in Zeewolde, they had actually, there's not line of sight between a transmitter and a receiver, but the signal is actually bouncing off a concrete wall, helping us. So you could have help from it also, but usually we say try to avoid all those in between the transmitters and receivers. Line of sight is, can just jump down here. This is the TIMO 2. It's the new radio module that's inside of the Moonlight. For the OEMs, it will be released in June 14th. The Moonlight will be start shipping in June 24th. The benefits of TIMO 2 compared to our first version of TIMO is that we have a better coexistence. We have added Bluetooth, so have concurrent Bluetooth and wireless DMX from the same radio. Those are the big, two big ones that are actually happening right now. The next big thing that will be released, I guess, during this fall is the DMX mesh. People are screaming for it. Hey, where's the DMX mesh? We need that. Yep, don't tweet. The DMX mesh is more. It gets the wireless DMX even more reliable. So if we would have an obstacle between a transmitter and a receiver, we have a transmitter over here, obstacle, transmitter, receiver here, and a receiver here. If it would have been regular DMX, we wouldn't have a signal or a linkage. But with a mesh, if we have a TMO2 on the side, it would send the signal through. So that will be like a repeater. So DMX mesh will always find its way either on the straight line or through a friend, so to speak. The downside of it is that you get longer latency. You will not have the fixed 5 millisecond latency. Depending on how many hops it needs, let's say every hop takes 5 to 10 milliseconds. If you have 2 or 3 hops, you do the maths. So if it's not super strict with a 5 millisecond latency, the DMX mesh will do you good, I think, to be even more reliable. If the 5 millisecond latency is really important, skip the mesh. Yeah. So you will be not today, but this fall. A transceiver. It has the TMO2 inside. Transceiver is a transmitter or a receiver. It's on runs on battery. In receiver mode, 12 hours. In transmitter mode, 6 to 7 hours. The range is about 300 meters. Super simple, and also with this one we have our one button. So you don't have to be super technician to do this, even though you are probably. There's going to be some add-ons to this. Today it's just a transmitter and a receiver. It will come as with the DMX mesh, an upgrade through the app. So it's in here, but we need to send an update to make it work. There will probably come as an DMX tester also. I guess some of you work with the DMX cat. Yeah. So we're taking everything and putting it into this little bugger. You know the Luminar app? Some of you do, some of you don't. We're actually doing. Ryan is the guy who owns that, and he's doing his own Bluetooth connection to the Moonlight. So you will actually be able to use the Luminar app and the Moonlight and nothing else, and you're good to go. So you don't need a light desk to bring with you. It's just with a. That was a snooze, by the way. It's really important stuff. And also there's another app coming. It's called the Blackout. You saw it yesterday or last night, Marcus, or this morning. It's a beta tester right now, and hopefully there's some Australian guy that wants to do it also, because our app has an open API, so you can have that, and then you can develop your own app if you would like to. So we're really looking forward to the Luminar, because they're probably going to be first. Then you have a couple of Moonlights in your back pocket and the tablet with you, and you're good to go for quick setups. Yeah, some case studies. This is actually an outdoor. I'm not sure how much you work outdoor, but when and if you do, this is what you can do. So we have a small city center. Where we have a transmitter in the middle, as you can see. 2 universe transmitter, as we call them, TX2. We have the universe 1, we can call it, the green one, sent with a directional antenna, and those are one of those high gain ones. And we also send the same universe down to the receiver in the bottom. We also have a second universe, universe 2, up to a repeater in that tower, who sends the signal down to the receiver. And this is a pretty good example of the importance when you're working with wireless or antennas. You really need to have line of sight. Antenna should see antenna, and you might get lucky and make it work anyway, even if you have things between, but always try to achieve line of sight. In this case, there's no chance because there's buildings in the middle. So what we did then was to just go up there and down the street, line of sight. So that could be we have the ranges up to 1,000 meters with high gain antennas and directional antennas. So in this case, I guess it's a couple of 100 meters, but that's not a problem. And this is pretty neat. L'Atoll-Angers in France. I think it's before my time at LumenRadio, but it's a shopping mall, I think. So I have one transmitter in the middle with it's just one universe in this one. 4 receivers on the inside of the building. But the thing is that there's the fixtures are on the outside of the building. And here we come to so we have one universe doing it wireless. And then we have transmitters on the outside. So there's a wall and there's a house between the receiver and the transmitter. What do? Well, we can put a cable. We use them sometimes also. So in this case, we have transmitter sending to receiver, sending with a cable to the transmitter, who then do it wireless to all the fixtures around the building. So cables are good, could be good, in this case anyway. To the Supernova software to show you a little bit. This is free to download from our website, LumenRadio.com. It has some bugs, but it's free and it's simple to use. There's no tutorial on it, so you just have to trial and error. That's how I do it. Try to get some back home to teach me, but no, I haven't gotten the time. So you try it out, and if there's any questions, just give me a call and I'll see if I can help you out. So down here we have the CRMX Nova FX. It's this one. If we double click this, I'll show you this coexistence thing we were talking about. Yeah, so this is actually what's happening right now in the surroundings on the 2.4 gigahertz. It's not, it's really not that congested. I've been to some exhibitions, of course, and they're crazy. The good thing is that we always get our signal to every other booth that has our gear inside. Yeah, so this is a good environment. If you would like, actually we were talking about yesterday, me and Marcus also, is that you see we can block channels. Shit. If you don't want to use a couple of channels because there's a sound guy or a mic saying, hey, you're blocking my channels. No, we don't, but we can be even more sure, to be even more friendly. You just block those channels, say, hey, work on those ones. We'll stay away from them and just work over there. So that's pretty neat. Sorry, yeah, I'm pretty much finished. So just come with questions. Yeah, Marcus.
How does the repeating start? Is it the same unit?
The repeater is actually only we have a couple of outdoor units for IP67 vandal proof. So the repeaters are only used for outdoor projects, I would say. We haven't needed them for indoor or shorter range projects. So it's only an outdoor product that has the repeater inside. Yeah, you will be able to do that. Yes, and of course the TMO2 module will come in all our old units also. So everybody will have the ability to mesh. And if you have the mesh, then we could, have the transmitter in here. That door would be open. Just put a moonlight in the opening or in line of sight, and then you could have, you could go around the whole area here, just hopping, but that would take some time. That's a good thing with the mesh. And also instead of having, so what we do in the mesh, not to make, everybody is on blue and they should turn to red. And we see that, okay, that moonlight or TMO2, we can say, over there is on 25 milliseconds latency. We wait with all the fixtures to change for the 25 milliseconds, then everybody goes on. So we wait so everybody change at the same time instead of changing in different times. So we get the same effect anyway. Yeah, you will be able to choose between DMX mesh or regular DMX. So you will. No. So no, it will always use the shortest latency available. So it could be so that, okay, we have this transmitter here, we have a moonlight just by the door, and the door is open, and we have a moonlight also in line of sight 10 meters away, and then it wouldn't jump, it would just be take just one jump straight through, because it measures all. It has a couple of figures. They're counting. Okay, how much signal strength? How many times do I need to send the package? And a couple of others. So it doesn't automatically jump or mesh. It could also go straight ahead. I mean, it's a range of 300 meters. And if you are in line of sight, it would go in 5 milliseconds.
The moonlight transmits the RDM signal. Fixture is providing them.
That's actually, I forgot that. It's not doing RDM at the moment. This is the first thing that will come. It will come just after summer, I think, the RDM function within Moonlights. And that will also just be an upgrade. So you pay the price, and then you will suddenly see, hey, there's an update in the app. Update device, and you're good to go. Good question. That wouldn't work. So if you have a wireless solution transmitter and you have LumenRadio receiver, either like this or built in, it would work. So a wireless solution, company wireless solution transmitter and receiver from us, that works, but not the other way around. If you have a LumenRadio transmitter and you have wireless solution built inside or a receiver, that wouldn't work.
But there are no there.
You can always send us some the more information we can get. We could say, yeah, it would probably work, but actually it's always best to test it on site. Shit can always happen, of course, with a truck coming up, standing just, and also take a look nowadays. Is there any Wi-Fi antennas in a building or pretty close? We had a problem in a festival in Finland last year, and they said, "Hey, why doesn't it work?" They sent us a picture, and we saw, this huge Wi-Fi antenna on top of that building where they put the transmitter just next to it. And oh, well, that probably crashes everything. So so stay away from those big antennas, please. Yeah. And yeah, if you're unsecure, just ask, send a drawing or whatever. We'll be able to help. Trees are not, wood is not good also, because rain, snow, when there's snow on the ground, but of course, it's if it's heavy rain or heavy snow, that will make it the range much less. Yeah, rain or everything with water, trees. I had a SGM is a lighting manufacturer from Denmark. They have our gear built inside with no external antenna. So they put like a TMO inside, and they had this in Tivoli, this amusement park in Copenhagen. So they had a transmitter, an outdoor transmitter next to the stage, and less than 20 meters away was a tree. And so the transmitter is here, a tree, and a fixture on the backside of the tree that should light the tree crown up. Less than 20 meters, didn't get the signal. And I asked them, how's your antenna aligned inside of your fixture? We don't know. Okay, so we just have to try to change the transmitter, and then it actually found it. But trees are not good at all. So yeah, trees, concrete, bricks, metal, glass. It could work. The thing is that you have to see if it's you try it before all the people are there, it works. But when there's a bunch of people coming in with the other gear and stuff, Teradeks. So you try it as close to reality as possible, I would say. Due to the benefits of 2.4 compared to 900, that would be the range, and also the amount of data that you can send. 900 is really good for the range, but not the amount of data. There's been a discussion in Hollywood due to the Teradeks being on 2.4, that could you guys also work on 900? And we said, okay, we can do that, but we wait and see what happens with Teradek, for example. And when they're gone from 2.4, I don't see if we have a problem anymore. And also we have tested not the DMX, wireless DMX, but our other wireless stuff that we have. We tried it out with Sumtobel actually, and we had actually better link than some competitors on the 900, going actually through a building, and everybody was super confused. Could this really work? And but it did. So it's all about the guys on R&D on our side. They're radio fanatics, and to get the most out of every radio chip, I mean, it's not just buying one piece from Nordic Semiconductors and then apply our operative system to it and hey, good to go. No, you really need to, the fine tuning and adjustments are really crucial to get the most out of it. No, not the receiver. I think the stereos, for example, we get a lot of questions. People want to buy our transmitters to get more signal strength to their receivers built inside of the tubes. The receivers are pretty good, but it's on the transmitting side that we differ, I guess. So, yeah, shouldn't backstab them but they're on battery. Of course, you get some lower range, and of course there's rarely the OEMs ask us for help how to place the antennas and stuff like that. They do it themselves, and of course they're not experts yet. Hopefully they will be. You get a little bit more. So if you have a bunch of Astera tubes and see that we have a bad link, try with one of our transmitters and it's probably going to work. Yeah. More questions? You're free to come up here and try and see if things work. So we're doing those wirelessly right now. I can show you the Moonlight app also. It's better if you come up close because, of course, an app. Yeah, of course, 5 minutes. God damn, we've been going on for more than an hour. Sorry, guys. Please, have a smoke or whatever. I snooze, so I stay out of it. See you back in 9 minutes.